Good morning. Welcome to day 3 of the road trip to Birdsville. Last night we stayed at EULO, E-U-L-O, in Queensland. The pub was booked out. There's no room for us there, so not the first time we've been chucked out of a pub before we even got in, but that's life. So we've come down to the free camp down by the river, and it's really quite nice. So we've circled the wagons. Yeah, ring in, and Rob's 16 there. It's a bit of a busy evening. Rob does live radio and also the podcast for the off-road and camping radio show. So it was pretty busy and pretty loud. We probably disturbed everyone in the campsite for a while, but it was good. Once Rob got his live thing done, everyone had dinner and whatnot. That's what's left of the campfire. So it was a really good, relaxing night. This campsite's pretty good. Little bit dusty, I guess, when it's dry. But hey, that's outback Queensland. But it is really, really convenient. It's only a couple of k's from town. You see behind me, car crossing the bridge. There's a river down there. They've had a lot of rain up here, so the river is quite brown and dirty, and there are people everywhere. There's lots of councils making available free camping like this. Obviously in town everything's booked out, so why turn people away? Give them good quality free camping down by a river, costs nothing. People still come into town and spend money. You know, we probably spent between us $300 at the local store yesterday afternoon. So that's, you know, if the average is $100 per head, and you know, you get 10,000 heads through here a year, that's good for the general store and the local town, so it's a good thing. It's been incident free, the trip. Yesterday we did quite a lot of red dirt heading north and up through the dog fence and then out here, and it was really nice to get some dirt underneath the tyres. There's a bit of wildlife around. Unfortunately some pigs, ferals, but also plenty of emus and some kangaroos, and with all the rain they've had up here, I think everything's had a really good feed. I even saw the largest echidna I've ever seen in my life, and I get a few out the back of my place, but this thing he was a soccer ball and made these things look like tennis balls, so that was quite interesting. But yeah, so now we're all packing up. I'm done. XT10 takes about 60 seconds to pack up and get ready. It was bacon and eggs for breakfast, which was nice, and yeah, I'm ready to roll. It's a trackies and desert boots kind of day today. Not getting all dressed up because we've got a lot of kilometres to eat up. First stop will be Quilpie. Last opportunity for anyone to stock up at the food works there, and by the end of the day we will be at Windora. Last night we stayed at EULO. First thing tomorrow morning we'll be up nice and early, and we are heading to Batuta, which I'm really excited about. I love Batuta. There's not much there, but it's a great little pub, and the guy that owns the pub went to an enormous effort to reopen it. The story, as I understand it, was the original owner in his will was like, nah, never to be reopened as a pub ever again. But I believe the family sold it. It's been reopened. There was quite a considerable length of time it took him to get his licence to serve alcohol there, but he got that, and I'm very, very keen to see just how far it's come along since the last time I visited. So that's an exciting finish, and all going well. The big boss will meet us out there, and there will be a considerable number of Canadian clubs consumed before everyone goes to bed. But like I say, this campsite, it's right, the road is right there, so it's literally a few seconds. There's even more people down closer to the river. So it's a great spot. So if you're on your way, you want a great free camp, EULO, stop at EULO. They have a really well stocked general store as well. So if anything you need just pop in there. They had a fair bit of fresh stuff, but with the amount of traffic heading through these parts, you've got to keep that in mind too. When you have a major event like the Big Red Bash, plus this is the time of year where people are heading out to do Simpson crossings or travel the hotter parts of Australia, this is when they're going to do it. Like, this is the time to do your Cape York trips, and anywhere that's like 80 degrees during summer, now's the time you want to visit those. But also nearby here, there is hot springs or thermal mud baths. So it's part of what they call the artesian basin. Learnt about that in primary school, artesian basins and bores and things like that. But plenty of information here. Want to go and soak in some hot mud? That's just up the road, so you can do that. Give yourself a facial or do whatever you do in those sort of things. It's supposed to be good for the pores and the skin. There's a bit of information about vegetation, that sort of thing. So check it out when you're heading north. Come through Eulo, spend the night at the free camp down by the river and enjoy. But above all, take your time, drive safe. Some of the roads were in pretty good condition yesterday, but there was a lot of track marks from vehicles that have been through when the ground was a bit damp. So there was a lot of tram tracking, pulling left and right. So drop your tyre pressures, that'll help alleviate that. Drive carefully, keep the speeds down to sensible speeds, and you'll be fine. You'll get to Eulo and get to enjoy this great free camp.